Hi, I'm Christopher Coates, Editor-at-Large of Whisky Magazine.
And I'm Maggie Kimberl, Content Editor of American Whisky Magazine.
And we're here in the grounds of Spalding Hall in the heart of Bardstown, Kentucky, the capital of the bourbon world, for the Kentucky Bourbon Festival. And I can see now what all the hype is all about. I mean, this festival is incredible. There are famous faces from all of the big distillers here. There's some very special whiskeys on display, but also I've heard a few nice ones underneath the counters as well.
You always have to ask if you have anything special behind the counter. That's the trick. You're absolutely right.
If you've got any questions for us about the festival, be sure to hit subscribe, jump into the comments, and we'll do our best to answer them. And of course, if you've been to the festival, we want to hear about what you think about it too, because by all accounts, everybody who's into whiskey has been here at least once, and if they haven't, they've got to get here. Whiskey lovers are queuing up around the block for this completely sold-out event. Tickets started at just $95 for a single-day Sunday sampler wristband, but most people went for the weekend bourbon taster pass at $175 that gets them into all 3 days of the event. And for people looking for a VIP experience, there's 3 different tiers ranging from nearly $500 up to nearly $1,200.
I'm here with Randy Prossi, president of the Kentucky Bourbon Festival. Randy, how's the festival going so far?
With this kind of weather, it's amazing. You throw in 50 distilleries with all this great bourbon, and people are just having an amazing time.
And I understand there's some new things this year. The vendors are able to actually sell bottles. That's new this year, isn't it?
That is. The distilleries that have DSPs are bottle selling. So I've been trying to get to this point for 3 years, and it's just, you see the lines. I mean, they're Jim Beam, Heaven Hill, the lines are on the corner, and everybody's happy. It's the best line to stand in. Nobody is mad, nobody's complaining.
And what's your favorite part of the festival?
The thing that recharges me so I feel like I can go do this again for a whole nother year is literally just seeing the faces, the smiles. You know, I envision it, but when we actually open and see it happening, that's what recharges me. I'll be tired for a few more days, and then I'll be back at it. So
I'm out here at the Kentucky Bourbon Festival with Fred No and Freddie No. These are generations 7 and 8 of the Beam family distilling legacy. What's your favorite thing about this festival every year?
Well, one thing, we don't have to travel. I mean, we're 2 blocks away. You don't have to get on a plane to go to these whiskey fests. Got it right here in Bardstown. We get to welcome everybody here to our home and show them our hospitality instead of me having to go to them.
And what is your favorite thing about the Kentucky Bourbon Festival?
I think just really to build off of what Dad says, you get a lot of people here where bourbon comes from. It's kind of the birthplace. It's been the capital. You know, our family's been making whiskey here since 1795. And everybody's here seeing the community that, I mean, the makers live here, not just us, the people that roll the barrels, fill the bottles. They live in this community, and so to have everybody kind of ascend here, it's great. And then you see the great turnout. To me, this is what bourbon is just all about, is bringing people together, good spirits, good friends, and hopefully a good time.
I'm now joined by spirits writer David Thomas Tao. David, how are you enjoying the festival?
Loving it. The weather's great, the crowd is wonderful, and the bourbon is really good, so no complaints.
Fantastic. And I understand that you're from Bardstown, so I'd love to know, what you thought I think the festival has brought to the town, and also how the town has changed now that whiskey is on this incredible meteoric rise.
I think the festival is great, and I do think it's important to note the festival is much different than it used to be. When I was growing up, when I was actually working at the festival when I was young, it was much more family-oriented. So it was bouncy castles for the kids, climbing walls for the kids, barbecues, arts and crafts. Whiskey was really secondary. It was called the Bourbon Festival, but it was really kind of the Bardstown Festival. And what they've done is they've refocused it on the producers. And now there's incentive for people to actually come visit, people to come down from Louisville, from out of state, from other countries, and we're seeing that now. This is a really great opportunity for fans to get up close and personal with the folks behind their favorite brands and behind their favorite pours, maybe discover some new favorite pours along the way. I will say special shout out to all of the distilleries and producers over in the craft distillers area. Always a really great opportunity to try expressions from some of the smaller brands that I don't necessarily have access to in New York. So.
So we are a woman-owned and family-operated distillery out of Shelbyville, Kentucky. We are a farm distillery. We actually grow all of the corn that we use for our products. So we grow this heirloom varietal called Bloody Butcher, and it gives our products a different flavor profile that you just don't get from yellow corn.
How's the response been so far at the festival?
It's been fantastic. I mean, people have been really excited to try something that's different, that's just a little bit more unique, and people are loving it. We've got a little bit of a line going, and we just opened, so it's been really exciting to see the response. But also just the people that are coming in are just super excited to try bourbon. They're bourbon enthusiasts. It's fantastic. Even if you just want to come out and explore and try things, this is the perfect place to find what is your next favorite bourbon.
Broken Barrel Whiskey is a company that actually prides itself on its process. So we take axes, hammers, smash up barrels, and actually use the barrel staves that comprise each barrel. And we take different types of casks and combine those staves together to finish bourbon. And we were actually awarded the most innovative brand in America by the World Whiskey Award 2023, and we also won the best finished bourbon, which is a big honor considering who else is in that category. So we're really excited about these two single barrels we have available today. One is a Kentucky Bourbon Fest single barrel bourbon finished with rye and honey barrels, and we have a wheat whiskey finished with PX sherry casks and French oak. So both are 114 and 125 proof, respectively. So these are big whiskeys, a lot of flavor, a lot of depth. The color on them is gorgeous. I highly recommend trying these and getting a chance because they're only here. That's the beauty of being here at the festival. As you can see, the booth's very popular.
Yeah.
It's backing up to us, so it's popular. You can hear it from the fans. So.
What we tried to do at Log Still is be a little bit different. So I want to call us the next generation of distilleries, where not only do we certainly focus on spirits, but we focus on entertainment, hospitality, and so we do a little bit of everything right here in Central Kentucky.
And how are you liking the festival so far? Has it changed a lot from previous years?
I think over the last 3 years, this has really evolved into something special for bourbon enthusiasts, and so while you can certainly see our booth, but when you look around and see everybody that's here enjoying bourbon, I think that's really the cool thing about KBF, is that it's so focused on the bourbon side of the business and really bringing enthusiasts to our side of the table, which is the craft side of the table, but also to all of the rest of whiskey.
Fantastic. So this sounds like you think it's a festival that every whiskey fan needs to come to, right?
Absolutely. They should come every single damn year. Yep.
Brilliant. Well, I'm going to do my best to try and do that.
I'm here with Steve Fonte from Limestone Branch. Steve, tell us a little bit about Limestone Branch.
Well, Limestone Branch Distillery was built by a 7th generation Beam, and he built it pretty much from his mama's side of the family. He was really, his mother was a dant, and she talked about the industry a lot. When you've got that kind of lineage on both sides of your family, a 7th generation Beam and a dant on top of it, well, heck, you weren't born, you were distilled. And in the Oscar Getz Museum of Whiskey History, they had the donor jug of minor case Beam. And if you know anything about Kentucky, you understand that Wilderness Trail Distillery started out as Firm Solutions. And Dr. Patrick Heist is the leading yeast expert in the United States, possibly the damn world. He scraped the inside of that donor jug from the Getz Museum, took the DNA off the inside wall, matched it to a current yeast strain in his cryogenic laboratory, 100% genetic match, which means it was minor case Beam's yeast from 100 years ago. And that's what we use for our distillations at our distillery.
Now, I'd imagine this is not your first Kentucky Bourbon Festival. How long has Limestone Branch been coming out and participating?
They've been coming out since the beginning in 2012. I've been here for 10 years, but I came to Bourbon Festival far before that. I think I was with Craig Beam on my first Bourbon Festival, and J. Paul Tucker. Those guys brought me out here when I was just a pup, and I've been hooked ever since.
Can you tell me a little bit about Buzzard's Roost?
Well, we started in 2019. We're going to be in about 25 states by the end of this year, and we're looking forward to some future growth.
And how did you feel after you won the Icons of Whiskey Award last year for Bourbon's Bistro?
It was amazing. I mean, what a great feeling to be recognized by your peers, to be one of the best in the world. It's utterly exciting.
Can you tell me a little bit about what's the whiskey that you're particularly excited to share with visitors today?
Well, we did. We picked a single barrel just for the Kentucky Bourbon Festival, so it's selling very well. It's drinking beautifully, and so we're really excited about that single barrel.
Just pulled Stephen here out of this very, very long queue that's leading to the Heaven Hill stand. Stephen, why have you been standing in such a big line?
Well, got here early in the morning and trying to get my hands on Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. I heard that the last batch this year is going to be older, like almost 14 years old, so hopeful I'll get that one.
I'm here with Joey. Joey's from Ohio, and is this your first bourbon festival?
This is my first bourbon festival.
So why did you choose to come this year?
You know, there was a lot of excitement last year, and it got all the way up into Ohio, and we knew if it was coming back, we were coming this year.
So I understand you're already kind of a whiskey fan, and you're also a subscriber to Whisky Magazine. How long have you been getting Whisky Magazine?
3 years now, so I got it as a Christmas present, and it was great. And, you know, the next year I said, hey, are you renewing it for him? And he said, no, you're renewing it, and you're buying it for somebody else. So we've kind of kept that going every year, and we just keep adding people to the group.
So I'm now here with Jeremy and his friends who've come all the way from Wisconsin just to visit the Kentucky Bourbon Festival. So what's brought you to this festival? Why do you love it so much?
Kentucky is bourbon. It's all the bourbons you can try before you buy. This is our second year here. And you know what? It's a great place for friends to hang out and have a great time.
Got Tammy from the same group. Tammy, I've heard you've been chatting while we've been chatting away. I've heard you saying a few things. So how long have you been drinking it?
Probably 15 years. And we really didn't get into the details of bourbon or whiskey until the last 2 or 3 years, where we've actually smelled it, tasted it, tried, you know, the whole experience. So in the old days, I just drank it.
But what's the thing that you pour for yourself now when you're at home?
Peerless. I love the double oak dry.
Amazing. In fact, there's a bottle that's just appeared on the table right here. Definitely. There you go. That's what I like to hear.
So tell us a little bit about Kobe.
Yeah, Kobe is Kentucky's original black bourbon enthusiast. We're a 501c3 nonprofit, focused on philanthropy work and kind of inclusion in the industry.
Now, I understand that this is your first time at the Kentucky Bourbon Festival. What are you thinking right now?
Like I said, the space is so much larger than I was expecting it to be. A lot of great brands, a lot of great friends out here like yourself running into you, having a great time.
Are there any brands or classes that you're really looking forward to today?
So with it being my first time, I'm just really all taking it in. Not overwhelmed, but definitely a lot more to see than I believed. So nothing expecting, but wanting to try it all.
Okay, now I'm joined by Ro from Roco Wines and Spirits. How are you enjoying the festival?
I'm loving it. We made it all the way out here from Sacramento, and this is quite the setup.
Amazing. And is there a particular whiskey that you were like, I've got to try that, now I'm here?
Yeah, Bardstown Bourbon Company. Bardstown Bourbon Company's been putting out a lot of good stuff, and I was just excited to see what they have for the Kentucky Bourbon Festival.
Fantastic. And I understand you've got there's a whiskey club that you've got as well.
So River City Whiskey Society out here out in Sacramento, Northern California. We're the largest barrel pick program in the state of California, and we got quite a following out there. And then we actually got a group of about 20 people, 20 members that are out here.
Will you be coming to this festival again, do you think?
Oh, yes, definitely. They have done a great job. So well organized, and people are so friendly. It's the Southern hospitality. Love it out here.
We're here in the Oscar Getz Whiskey History Museum, and I'm with Jack Ryan. Jack, why don't you tell me what you do here?
Well, I'm the executive director of the Oscar Getz Museum of Bourbon History. We named it Bourbon History because this is bourbon capital of the world, and Oscar Getz was one of the makers and distillers of several very fine bourbons. The building is really cool. It was built in 1826, and it's been through many different incarnations. It was a hospital during the Civil War. It's been a school, two different types of school. It's been a college and a high school. It was an orphanage for many years. It was a private residence for a family of four, this huge building, can you imagine? And then for the past 40 years, and we're celebrating our 40th anniversary next year, this is going to be the Oscar Getz Museum of Bourbon History's 40th anniversary. Our collection is incredible. We have over 3,600 bottles. Many of them are one-offs, pre-Prohibition, Prohibition whiskeys. We don't even have a value on this thing. We consider this place priceless.
And at the Kentucky Bourbon Festival, they do a little fundraiser for you every year. Tell us about that.
Well, we have a wonderful relationship with the Kentucky Bourbon Festival, and tomorrow, Saturday, we are going to have our Master Distillers auction, and we are promising some really incredible surprises. Every dollar that we raise in that auction basically goes directly to the museum and the museum's bottom line, so it's a big deal for us.
Whether you're new to whiskey or a seasoned bourbon enthusiast, a weekend spent at the Kentucky Bourbon Festival is going to go down a treat. Between attending masterclasses, bidding in the Master Distillers auction, visiting the stands, and rubbing shoulders with the great and good of the bourbon world, you'll be sure to make a few friends and get a taste of the whole spectrum of Kentucky's distilling scene. The only problem will be deciding which whiskey to try first.
Thanks for coming out, and enjoy some whiskey before you leave now.
You know I will.
All right.